Nature is so hard. Hey, what's up? Good morning, everyone. The day has begun. Well, it began a while back, but it is changing by the minute, let me tell you. So I've been out here walking for about a mile. Real rocky after that shelter. A lot of ups and downs. No scrambles, anything like that, but just a lot of ups and downs. A little too early in the morning for that. But last night when I got to the shelter, I was able to look at the weather because I had a signal, and it had changed. All of a sudden, there was not going to be any rain in the morning. It was only going to be in the afternoon, and it was going to be light. I'm like, yes, this goes perfectly with my plan, which, again, if you're new, I don't really have plans. I'm an anti-planner. I'm more idea and then change it with another idea, replace it with another idea, and then settle on something that's completely different from all of it. But it looked good. Looked like, and it's supposed to be getting more mild and warmer. Here in a couple of days, it's going to be 70 degrees. But even last night, it was no colder than 32, maybe 30. If it was below freezing, only by a degree or two. It was actually quite mild from what I have been having out here at night. So it's very comfortable. But the weather this morning has changed back to sort of what it was as of 2 days ago, or actually as of yesterday morning. Except now it's a little worse. Now the rain is going to come in at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be torrential rain pretty much all day. It's still somewhat mild, but not mild enough for torrential rain. It's like 40 degrees, and then tonight it'll be 40 and warming up into the high 40s. And then tomorrow clear, the next day clear, and that's when 60s and 70s start. So I'm getting ready to climb Pond Mountain right now. And hey, I've come to a fork in the road. Ah, look, fork in the road, but there's a blaze. Sweet. But once I climb over Pond, I am actually going to be right next to Boots Off Hostel. So I am going to, if I can't get a signal there, I'm going to go to Pond, I can't talk this morning, go to Boots Off and get on Wi-Fi and determine whether I want to stay there and treat this as a Nero and then just pound out 2 big days, or if I'm going to continue on and have 2 big days now and use that last day as a 5 or 8 mile Nero into Damascus. But even if I want to have a big day today, I might not be able to have a big day today depending on how torrential the rain is. I might have to get underneath one of those shelters to stay somewhat dry. I'm just worried that I get too wet before then. And obviously I have a rain jacket, I have a cover for the backpack, but a lot of times when it's torrential, you don't stay dry even if you do everything in your power to try to stay dry. So I got play it by ear. Those are my couple options this morning. Either way, it gets me into Damascus at the same time. I just don't want to stop. That's kind of annoying me. You know, after a big day yesterday, like I want to be having every day. I want those 20 to 25s every single day. The only thing that stops is weather. And this is not something I need to stop on. It might be a little safer to stop because it is only going to be like 40, and there's probably more hypothermia cases in 40s and 50s than there is in 20s because people get a little lax on it. Think they don't need to cover up as much. Obviously, I would be going in aware, so I'm not really worried about that. I just don't want to be soaked all night long. And so I don't know. Figured out, might be a blessing that I'm right next to Boots Off here on the other side of this mountain, which is right up there. It's about a 1,500 foot climb. So I'm down to like 20 something right now, 2,500 or something in elevation. So I don't know. I'm just talking out loud so you can hear how my brain thinks. it thinks of all kinds of different ideas at one time, and then I just keep walking and walking and adding more ideas, and then finally I decide on something. So either it's going to be a really short day in a Nero, and then I'll start off early tomorrow and probably do another 25, or I continue on today and don't probably get as many miles and try to get coverage in a shelter at some point before I'm too soaked. We'll figure it out. Thankful for that bridge and the bridge before it. Would not want to have to cross over on that at 32 degrees, especially. About 6 inches to a foot deep of leaves here. Starting to climb up Pond Mountain right now. Nice steady climb over a couple miles. One of those mountains that you feel like is never going to end because it just keeps going up and up gradually. But gets the blood flowing and wakes you up in a good way, unlike rocks. Trying to maneuver around rocks and step up and step down, not my favorite way to wake up in the morning. But that's okay. It's what the trail provided today. So I took it and I moved through it. There's a nice view of Watauga Lake that I will either be seeing later today or first thing in the morning if I take a Nero today, which I am going to decide at the last moment. It has been sprinkling and the wind is kicking up pretty steadily right now. So getting close to the summit here of Pond Mountain. Just playing it by ear. Still climbing, but almost there, like 100 feet more of elevation. This is kind of an annoying mountain. It just goes on for so long. You just feel like you're never going to get there because they're steep spurts, and then they stop, and they go flat or do very gradual, and then they're steep, and then they're gradual again, and then they're switchbacks, and it goes on for like 3 or 4 miles just to get to a 4,000 foot mountain. Kind of insane, but it is what it is. You got to climb it regardless. I'd just rather climb straight up and get it over with, but that's me. At least I'm going to summit it and put it in the bag. But the other thing that I have noticed that I want to let people know about, especially if they're going to be coming out here, there are an awfully lot of blowdowns, like in the last probably 10 to 15 miles. It was a lot yesterday, but it wasn't really till the last like 5 miles. So with today, that's like 10 to 15, closer to 10 probably. Just a lot of blowdowns. Some of them are just a pain in the butt to get over. Some of them are actually really hard to get over. Some of them are real easy to get over, but I don't know if they're all from this year. I mean, there's a lot of blowdowns not on the trail too. It's just a lot of trees knocked over. So that's a pretty, and that was a lot on the ridge line. So probably from storms coming through. I guess they've had some pretty good storms, or nobody's just been able to come up and clear any of that out yet, or they're really recent storms. I don't think too many of them were from last year, or I mean, were there last year. I don't remember that many blowdowns, but there might have been. I might have just forgotten them. So I still got 27.5 miles yesterday, so it's still doable, but it does slow you down a little bit in those areas. It's all part of the experience and the journey, and makes you feel like a pioneer. Standing on the summit of Pond Mountain on this cloudy, rainy, windy day. Right now there's no rain falling, and right now there's no wind blowing in this spot. For the last mile or so, it's been quite windy. Some good gust. But it's still beautiful, even without many views. Peaceful. And Pond Mountain is in the bag. That, my friends, is rain and snow mixed together. Good old frozen rain, or sleet as they call it. I'm glad I'm going down. It's raining pretty good now. It's not the frozen rain down far enough where it's just regular cold rain. But the breeze definitely kicks up sometimes pretty heavy. That has me leaning towards the hostel and just taking today as a Nero. Because it is, like I said, it's going to be clear the next 2 days and warm. My 25s that I like to do will come quite easy because there won't be as much elevation over this next section going into Damascus as there has been. So I don't know, I'm leaning towards that just because of wind and cold rain all day will make for a very miserable night. And I don't really want that if not needed. So there's going to be plenty of days that I'm rained on and soaked to the bone, but at least, 60, 70 degrees, not 32 going up to 40, but still with that wind and the cold rain, could be miserable. So I'm leaning towards that, but I still have a couple miles here to make up my mind. So I made up my mind. I am going to stop at Boots Off Campground and Hostel and take a Nero for the rest of the day. Not that safety-wise that I can't go on today. I guess at the end of the day, my decision was made by food. It usually is. I'm like, I want to stay dry, warm today. I will get to Damascus at the same day, either way. Just one might be a couple hours earlier. Oh, that's right. At Boots Off, they take you into town and you get to go to McDonald's. That was a deciding factor. Like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dry off, upload my videos, eat some food, and then later this afternoon go on the shuttle and get some McDonald's. And I don't think I really need anything for resupply, but there's a gas station right there with the McDonald's, so I can resupply if I need to. But that was the main decision. It is windy. That cold wind busts through, and the rain is cold because it's cold outside. It looks like on the radar that it's blowing from the southwest, though, so that's probably why it's going to get warmer this evening. And then, tomorrow and the next day, 60s and 70s. I only really look 2 days ahead because everything changes so much in the mountains, but that's all I need to look at right now because I'm going to be in Damascus in 2 days. So that's my decision. So I'm going to sleep in a warm bed. Part of me a little bummed that I'm not going to go on for another 10 or 15 miles today, but that's okay. I will have a great day tomorrow and then another Nero the day after for Damascus, and then take off and do it all again over and over and over. There's a lot of days left on this journey, so having a Nero here and there in the beginning while the weather is trying to figure out how to make it spring again, that's okay by me. But yeah, there would definitely be a good day tomorrow. But today will be a good day too, a good day of eating food and being dry. All right, let's do it. So welcoming. Nothing like climbing a mountain to get to your hostel. There's the check-in for the hostel.